you're getting a stamp in your credentials. If you collect not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 stamps, we name you an official member of the field station team, and you become a super paleontologist. Now, this show is all about the missing link between the birds and the dinosaurs, and it's called Great Moments of Discovery. Now, science is a very fancy topic. Usually, like 98% of the time, science moves really slow. But sometimes scientists make a giant leap forward in science. They no longer have to move slow. Sometimes science can move very, very quickly. And that's what this show is about. And it's not just called Great Moments of Discovery. It's called Great Moments. I'm not gonna drop it, I swear. It's called Great Moments of Discovery Theater. Which means I'm gonna need 4 volunteers who are gonna help me out throughout this. Don't you worry, I'll pick you. Okay, so welcome to Great Moments of Discovery Theater. We're going to go through time and visit 4 different scientists that help us learn about great discoveries. Can I have a volunteer to start me off? You raise your hand first. Come on forward.
Oh, Kevin. Let Chad go.
I'll pick you next. Don't worry.
Okay.
I like your Jurassic Park outfit. Well done. What is your name?
Chad.
Chad. You're going to have a seat right here, Chad. Now, Chad, is it okay if I put a bunch of costume stuff on you?
Oh, it's all right.
Perfect. Okay. Chad, you're going to be taking us to Syracuse in ancient Greece, and you're going to be playing the part of a man named Archimedes. Turn and face the audience and wave. Perfect. Now, Archimedes is hanging out in Syracuse in the baths. People like to take baths in ancient Greece, so you're going to be hanging out taking a bath. Now, you're an actor, so you just fake it. Fake it. So Archimedes is taking a bath, and he realizes that the water is rising every time he sits in the bathtub. Has anyone ever taken a bath and noticed that the water rose next to you? Fantastic, me too. Now, as that water rises, he realizes, wait a second, this is a great moment of discovery. He realizes that he can measure the displacement of something or measure the volume of something by using the amount of water that is left in that area, and he realizes he can measure volume. This is called Archimedes' principle, and we still use it today in order to measure precious minerals and gold and jade and things like that. But when this happens, I'm not kidding, we do use it today. When this happens, Archimedes yells, "Eureka!" And then he runs naked through the streets of Syracuse. You're not going to do that, but he did that at that time. Now, does anybody know what Eureka means?
It means genius.
Ah, close. Eureka means I found it. I found it. Now, every time we make a great moment of discovery, we're going to yell Eureka. So on the count of 3, can you all yell Eureka? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Eureka!
Eureka!
Come on, look, I just found gold. 1, 2, 3.
Eureka!
Perfect. Now, every time I point at you, chances are you're going to have to say Eureka. It's the only line in the whole show. Now, you have earned one of our greatest prizes here at Field Station Dinosaurs, a Field Station Dinosaurs 10th anniversary tattoo. Now take a big Broadway bow and head on back to your seat. Now I need a second volunteer, and I do believe you had your hand up. Come on down. What's your name?
Kevin.
Okay, Kevin. Kevin, you're going to have a seat right here.
I'm an actor, so I had to pretend.
Okay, yes, perfect. You're ready to go. So Kevin, have a seat right here. And since you're already an actor, we're ready for this. You're going to be traveling to London, England. Okay, and you are going to be playing a physicist named Isaac Newton. Now you're going to pretend to read this fancy physics book. Fantastic. Now Isaac Newton is hanging out, and he's reading his book, and he's thinking about physics, and he's staying underneath a nice tree, a beautiful tree on a very windy day. Now, Isaac Newton didn't have the help of modern technology, but we do here at the Field Station. So is it okay if I put this on your head? Cool. Perfect. Okay, now we're back. It's a windy day. And
Boing.
bam! The apple falls on Sir Isaac Newton's head, and he realizes that in this moment, there must have been some force that pulled the apple from the sky onto his head, onto the ground. Does anybody know what that force is?
Gravity.
Gravity is correct. And in that moment, he yells?
Gravity.
He yells Eureka. Go ahead and say Eureka nice and loud.
Eureka.
Yes, he yells Eureka because he has realized in that brief moment, just an apple falling on his head, it's a quick moment in science, he has discovered gravity. Now let me see, he gets to writing this down in his book. Now I'm going to take this back from you. Yoink. I'm gonna place these props back in you, my friend. Have earned a Field Station Dinosaur's tattoo. Nicely done. Make a big Broadway bow. Perfection. Now I do have 2 more. I love it, you're milking it. Okay, I'm gonna need 2 more volunteers to help me out. Now we're gonna start talking about that connection between the birds and the dinosaurs. Do I have another volunteer? You, come on forward. What is your name?
Patrick.
Patrick, have a seat in my actor chair, Patrick. Or stand, your choice.
I'm a good actor.
Okay,
Pretender.
here we go. Are you ready?
You are.
I'm not a faker, but
You're
I'm
going to be
actor
taking
and
us
pretender.
staying in London, England, but this is
Acting
going to be funny.
pretending.
Okay, are you ready? Okay. You're going to be playing the part of Thomas Huxley. It just so happens that Thomas Huxley has a great big bushy beard and a fancy top hat. Go ahead and turn and wave at the audience. Everybody, please meet Thomas Huxley. Now, Thomas Huxley is studying at the Royal Academy of Sciences in London, and he's discovered something very, very fancy. He has discovered a gigantic bone, a huge bone, and he notices on the back of this bone that there are some grooves, and he can't quite figure out what the grooves on the back of the bone are. So he goes to his buddies at the Royal Academy of Sciences in London, and he says, "Gentlemen, what are these grooves?" And they say, "We don't know, do your own homework." So he goes to the catacombs and he goes searching for answers, and he finds nothing. So he ends up doing what any good scientist would do. He takes a break, he sits down, and he's eating a pheasant over glass. Now you can pretend to eat that pheasant over glass. Go ahead. Does anybody know what a pheasant is? It is a bird. He's eating the leg of this bird. He's eating the leg of this bird, and he notices on the back of that bone are the same grooves that he saw on the big bone. And in this great moment of discovery, he yells,
Eureka!
"Exactamundo!" He yells Eureka because he realizes that those grooves are the same, and either he has discovered a gigantic bird in the middle of the desert, or there has to be some sort of connection that he has missed. So I'm going to borrow this back from you. Thank you for taking part in this, and you have earned yourself, Patrick, a Field Station Dinosaur's 10th anniversary tattoo. Go ahead and take a big Broadway bow. I love it. Have a seat.
Hey, I said gravity, right?
You did say gravity. You got it right. Okay.
I forgot to say the word Eureka.
You said Eureka right after. I checked in on you. Don't worry.
You're good. You're good.
You're good. You're good. So in that moment, he realizes that he sees those grooves, and I'm going to show you those grooves on my model pigeon right here.
Thanks,
So
guys.
take a look at this beautiful pigeon. Now on the back of the legs of this pigeon, you'll notice there is not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 toes, and there's 1 backwards facing toe. The grooves that Thomas Huxley found were actually that for the backwards facing toe. They held ligaments or tendons on the back of that leg that made that backwards facing toe go. So in this moment, Huxley has to start defining what is a bird. What does it mean to be a bird? So we know that birds have very special skeletons. They have hollow bones. They have certain parts of their skeleton that makes them unique. In fact, there's a part right here on the front. You can't really see, it's kind of small. So I'll show you the bigger version of it. Anybody ever seen one of these before? A wishbone.
A wishbone.
Yeah.
A
So
wishbone.
usually you make a wish. So I'm going to ask you two to go ahead, hold on inside of this. You're going to yank it, but think of a wish. Ready? Go
I
ahead.
want $1 million.
Go ahead, pull it, pull it, pull it.
I wish someone to be free.
Oh, sweet. Okay, pull, pull, pull. You gotta pull harder, pull harder. Well,
Great.
technically, that's a good win. We got
Come
this.
on, you two.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
technically you win. And since you're such a nice person, I assumed you wished for Field Station Dinosaurs tattoos for both of you.
Wow.
I knew it. I knew it. Okay. So, it's not just a wishbone. You guys actually have a wishbone, but it doesn't connect together, so it's called a clavicle. But a wishbone on a dinosaur may look something like this. A dinosaur mustache, or a wishbone that belongs in the front of an Allosaurus. Much bigger, but still something that birds and dinosaurs have in common. Now, we're not done yet. I need to figure out one more special thing that makes a bird a bird. We know that they have interesting skeletons. What else is important about a bird? What's unique about them?
They can also fly.
They can fly, but wait! Bats can fly. Dragonflies can fly. Butterflies can fly.
Flies can fly.
Flies can fly. So what's special about a bird? What's on those things that make them fly?
Feathers.
Feathers, perfect. Can I have another volunteer to help me out?
Can I go?
Yeah, go ahead. Come on down. What is your name?
Jacob.
Okay, Jacob, have a seat right here in the actor's chair. Now, Jacob, you get to travel to one of the coolest places. You're going to Bavaria, Germany. Can you say Guten Tag to the audience? Counts. Okay, so Jacob, you are my favorite scientist in this grouping of scientists that we've met because, Jacob, you're not even a scientist. You're just a random guy walking on your farm in Bavaria, Germany. You're also an amateur paleontologist, so you can carry around a brush and a pickaxe. I don't trust anybody with a pickaxe here at the field station, so you just get the brush. And as you're walking on your journey, you discover one of the most important fossils that has ever been found in the history of dinosaurs. You discover this. Go ahead and brush it off and show the audience. Now this right here, on these bones, does anybody see what's on these bones? Do you see what's on these bones?
Yeah.
What do you see? These imprints right here, what could we guess they might be?
Footprint?
Not a footprint, the footprints are down here. What you're actually brushing off, believe it or not, is feathers! This is the first dinosaur fossil ever found, Jacob, with feathers! And some random guy who wasn't even a scientist found this in his backyard. Now, Jacob, I'm going to borrow this back, and although you look delightful in this hat, I'm going to take it back. And you have earned yourself another Field Station Dinosaurs tattoo, but chances are you should give it to somebody in the audience who hasn't gotten one yet. That would be fair.
Yeah, I don't do tattoos, so if you want to have it.
So let's talk a little bit about this beautiful discovery. So I'll bring it up closer. This is the fossil of the Archaeopteryx, and this is the first fossil that was ever found with feathers. We have found fossils like this now. We found multiple things that have had feathers. We found feathers in amber. We even know the color of some dinosaurs because we found feathers in amber. They might have looked like crows, had iridescent black feathers, or browns, or whites, or reds. But this is the first time anyone had ever found feathers on a dinosaur. And in this moment, Huxley now has enough information to make that connection between the birds and the dinosaurs. And if you want to see this fossil in real life, you can go to the Museum of Natural History in New York, and this fossil will be there. You'll also notice in the hallways that it used to just say the Hall of the Dinosaurs, but now it actually says, I kid you not, Hall of Non-Avian Dinosaurs and Hall of Avian Dinosaurs. Because we have now, because of these discoveries you saw before you, we have been able to make the connection that birds and dinosaurs are one and the same, and some of the birds that we see on Earth today are actually still classified as avian dinosaurs. So as you walk around the trails today, you might see some of our theropod dinosaurs, which are non-avian dinosaurs like the T-Rex, but we're also in an estuary. So above us, you might even see some beautiful birds or avian dinosaurs flying in the sky. And if you make a connection and you make a great discovery of science, what are you going to yell?
Eureka!
Fantastic, Eureka! And my favorite fact about this is, guess who the closest living relative to the chicken is, or closest living relative to the T-Rex is?
The chicken.
The chicken, yes.
You
the
kind of
chicken.
spoiled the joke.
I know, but it's okay. It's fun to think about every time you eat a chicken nugget, you're eating a dinosaur.
I think I don't want to think about that.
All right, so you all earned a stamp in your credentials. If you line up at the gray desk, you can follow me down right over here. Thank you for coming to Great Moments of Discovery and helping me tell the tale of the avian dinosaurs that live in our world still today.